Hello, how are you today?
It's good. Pam, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Beautiful weather in Calgary.
Oh, that's great. That's good to know.
How's Hamilton weather?
It's good. Today it's a bit chilly actually. It's about 15 degrees today.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
It rained yesterday a little bit, and then it became a little bit chilly.
Oh, well, I guess that God's giving us the bad weather, so not bad, the some kind
Yeah, it
in presence. So when the good weather comes, we all appreciate it. Yeah.
that's right. And it has been really hot.
Oh no, us the last couple days was so lovely. Of course, it's hot.
Right.
So yeah, never. Tomorrow is gonna be a little bit cooler
I
in
see.
Calgary. So yeah. So thank you, Pam.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Talk to you later.
Before we begin, we are going to wait a little bit for the rest of the class. It's not time yet. Um, so I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm just mixing my paint in my palette with my brush, you know. So
A blue.
and while I'm talking, so
Yeah.
you can do the
Oh,
same at your end
yeah.
if you want.
Yes. Yeah.
So today we are going to do a painting of the sea. So you will need some blue colors. There will also be a rock. So you may need some brown color, burnt sienna kind of color. And you can prepare those colors if you wish in the meantime. So I'm just mixing my colors right now. So we are going to begin very soon. You can prepare your palette and your brushes and paint, you know. Before I do the class, I always wet my paint using a spray bottle, and I just wet everything to reactivate all the watercolors, and that saves me a lot of time later on, you know. So that's part of my process before I start a watercolor. If I'm doing acrylic, I don't do this step because you cannot activate acrylic again. Acrylic, once it's dry, you cannot use that anymore. But watercolor you can. So I reuse my watercolors that is left on my palette, reactivate it using a spray bottle, and then I use a brush to mix it and to make it very uniform, you know. But you have to be careful to not reuse that brush anywhere else. So I wash my brush a couple of times, or you can use different brushes to go through each of the wells and to reactivate your paint. right? So I'm almost done. I'm going to start the class soon. We're going to do a sea painting, and we'll need some blue colors, and also there will be a few rocks. So you'll need brown color, and I was also experimenting using salt to create texture, but it was taking too long to dry. The salt was taking the salt that I was using on the paper was taking too long to dry. So we may not use it in the class. If I have time, I will show that in a little portion of my painting. With that, I will switch my camera and I will see you and
What
you'll
do
see
we
my,
use the spray for? Where do we spray it?
with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a palette that I have some colors and they got dry, right? Because I have not done watercolor for a few days. So I use this spray to reactivate my paint. Once I use the water and I use my brush, I get, and I'll switch my camera so you'll see my palette, okay? Just give me 1 second. Yeah, so I get very wet paint here, right? So I use the spray bottle to put water and then I use my brush to reactivate my paint, right? You can also use the spray bottle to, um, suppose you have, suppose I need a color, right? I'm going through my colors and I know that I'll be using some blue. So I might as well put some blue to show you. So suppose I put this color here. You see how this is your cerulean blue, right? I do have cerulean blue here, so it was not a good choice. I just I picked it because it was near my hand, right? But if you take a tube of paint and you put it in your palette and you just spray some water and you come with your brush and you mix it, right? You now get a really nice, beautiful, watery paint, right? Or or if you are using a palette like this, it's very dirty and not very pretty, but it has all of my colors. And if I don't use it for a little while, it goes all dry. So I just use my brush, spray bottle to wet it. So now the color is reactivated and I can use it. I have all different colors on this palette, but I also use this. So I have two different colors that I go into.
Thank you.
If I'm doing a paint, you're welcome. Thank you for the question. I appreciated it. If I'm doing a painting on my own, I don't have two different. I don't use so many different things. I just use this, you know. And if I'm painting outdoors, I use um, this box. This is a small box, and this is my outdoor painting that I. This is all I have. So I would also reactivate my paint and then use that. So I don't use many different things. I keep my painting process very simple. Just one is good enough. But for the class, I have two different things because it's a little bit difficult for the class and I don't want to get stuck. So with that, I'll give you a minute to get ready. I'm using a 300 GSM paper and I have all my paints here. And take a minute to get ready and then we are going to start. So I'm going to start with the really clean color, and I'll use this pen brush just so that I can cover a lot big area, right? All right. You can use a regular big brush also. This is fine, right? But I just want to cover a large area, so I'm using that brush. And I'm just going to go and put water everywhere, except for one area where I will have some sort of a crashing wave. So I'm just putting water in most of my paper. Generous amount of water, and then it's hard to see what I'm doing. I myself, I cannot see because it's just plain water, right? But I'm just trying my best to understand where I'm putting. And now I'm ready. So I'll go into my paint, very light amount of paint, not too much at all, like just a tiny bit, and just sprinkle that all over the paper. And it will travel to all the spots that I have wet. Just using this, like I'm tapping on the brush, see, like this. I'm just doing a tap, and I'm letting all the water spray everywhere. And wherever it's not going, I'm going and putting in some of the blue paint, okay? I'm taking an ultramarine blue, and I'm putting some here at the bottom. And I'll put some at the top too. Not being too careful, I'm just um, putting it everywhere except for one or two areas. And if I feel that I can see my brushwork, I'll put some water. I'll pull some of this into this area. I'll pull some of the blue color into this area. And over here, the brush mark is horizontal because I will have some water here. I have some salt here, sea salt. Now I take some of the sea salt, just a little bit, because the sea salt is bigger in size, okay, than regular salt. And I'm going to experiment, okay? I don't know if I'll be successful because whenever I try this, it takes a long time to dry. So I'll try. I'll put some sea salt here and there to create some effects of waves. We'll see. I may have to get rid of it later on if it doesn't work out because it may not work. It may not stick at all. I'm not sure. I have to give it more time. People give it an hour to get to stick. Okay? We don't have that kind of time, so we'll try our best. I'm putting in, I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I don't know about you, but if you don't have salt, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It's just an experiment, okay? And when you have more time at home later on, you can try using the salt and see how you like it, okay? An artist always experiments, you know? It's a very exciting way to do art, to be able to experiment with different things. So I'm experimenting this today, trying to see if I can get some texture. Okay, I hope you like the experiment and we are successful in the experiment. I don't know how it will go. We will see. So I'm putting some salt here and there. I hope. Let's see how that goes. Okay. All right. So that's that. Okay. And then um, yeah, I'll let it be at that. All right. And I do have some green around here. So maybe I'll put some green also in the water. Maybe I can take some of this green and splatter. Oops, I don't want green in my sky. Splatter some green around here. Right? So we have blue and green in the paper. And now I feel like I want to dry it a little bit. But the problem with the drying is when the dryer comes on, the salts, they start flying. So even if I want to bring the dryer, I don't think I should because the salt is gonna fly. What I'll do also is take a paper towel and maybe create some textures using the paper towel also. Just like salt can create texture, and I think in one of our lessons I did bring in some paper towel to create texture. But today maybe you can also try that, okay? And creating texture in the front and everywhere. I'm going in and doing a little bit of a rock here. With a brown color. I'm bringing in the paper towel to create texture on the rock using paper towel. Okay? But you can also put some salt on the rock. And let's see how that goes. Thing is, the paint needs to be quite wet for the salt to work. So let me put some more paint here and I will put a salt there. A little bit more salt. Maybe over here also I can put some salt. So the paint is quite wet when I'm putting the salt, okay? That's one trick. If your paint is too dry, the salt won't stick and it won't create the texture, okay? But like I said, not to worry. You will figure it out. If you use it a few times, you will know what to do. Okay, then I'm going to take my brush, you know. Actually, I'll take my palette knife. If you don't have a palette knife, you can use um, like a safety pin or anything sharp, okay, also. Or even a kitchen knife is okay. So this is a palette knife. It's used by artists to create, to mix paints and to create marks. And see, if I go over this area, I can create some sharp marks with my palette knife and it will look interesting. Let's see if it works. I can go over some of these areas and create like scribbling marks. I don't know if you're able to see it, but I'm just scribbling on the brown, okay? And it has indented the paper. It has created marks on the paper that I'll take advantage of later on. And now I'm gonna go and maybe create some marks on this blue and green area, and we'll see how that works out. Okay, I'm just creating some marks with my knife. All right. Um, so the salt is sticking, and I hope it works out. But in the meantime, I will go and start defining the landscape. Okay, so I will take my um, brown and purple color, mix it a bit so it creates a darker purple, but it has a slight bit of brown in it. And I'll use that to create a landmass in the distance. So very carefully, I will bring my dryer and try to dry it. If you see the salts flying, please don't worry. It may happen, okay? So I'm gonna put myself on mute and do that. So I'm not pointing the dryer to my painting. I'm pointing the dryer away, but I am putting my hand over the dryer so that the hot air reaches the paper. Okay. Okay. So most of the salt is still there. So we're good. And now I'll move to the next step where I'll define the water a little bit more. Yeah. So I'm reducing the size of my brush. I'm coming in with a round size 4 brush, and I will come in with some blue, ultramarine blue, which is a darker blue than cerulean, and I'll create some watermark using, this is a wet over dry technique. So I'm using the brush to put in wet paint over the dry paper. Okay, the paper is dry, and I'm creating ripple effect in the water. And I'm still not removing the salt because they need more time to dry. So I'm doing my best to create some ripple effect in all of these areas. Remember the scribbles that I made with my palette knife? I now can see the effect of it. You see this part? I don't know if you can see it. I'll bring it closer to the camera. But if you see this part, look at this part, because I had indentations in the paper, this part, and also this part, it creates some interesting effect in the water because the paint is going in deeper, so it creates some sort of a different kind of effect. Okay. And now here is a wave that is going to happen. This is the wave. This is the crest of the wave, okay? And this wave is coming this way, and I want this part to have a wave effect. So I put some water there and I drop some blue paint there. And just doing dot 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 kind of like effect where I'm not covering everything, just putting in some blues and leaving some of the white as white of the paper. Okay, so there will be a little wave coming in here, and then you kind of have to plan your painting a little bit in watercolor if you want to show the white of the paper. Okay, so and there is this other wave here. It's gonna come on this rock right here. Okay, so that's the plan, and I can use different blues. I'm just filling up this area, not everything, but just putting some different kind of blues and trying to make sense, right there is what I have. And then I have this blue of the water over here. That's the water in the distance, okay? And just, just letting it go into this area. All right, I hope it's starting to make a little bit more sense, okay? And then I have the sky here, which I already put some blue, but I can put some more blue there while I wait for the salt to dry a little bit more so that I can create some cloud effect, in the sky. So I'm using water and the blue, ultramarine blue, to create windy sky cloud effect. It's more about the mood, It's the mood of the painting. It's a windy day. There's a lot of waves, and the waves are hitting the rocks. Okay. So now I don't know if I have more time to let the salt. It takes about a couple of hours for this to dry. Okay. Um, but I may have to remove the salt, and then I won't get as much texture, which is okay. I think you get the point, right? So I have all this salt here, and um, yeah, maybe I'll remove some of the salt. Okay, maybe I'll remove the salt from the rock. Maybe I just do this. So I take my knife. Oh, it's not. It didn't stick. It didn't do much there because it didn't get enough time. So it's okay. I'll go and put it somewhere. So you see, I got a little bit of texture on the rock. I hope you can see that. This is a close up. Just a little bit, and then I can remove these ones Let's see if I get any textures here. No, not that many. Well, it needs more time. Okay, that's all. If it got time, it would stick to the paint, and when you remove it, it will create that effect. I got a little bit, but not much, not enough to be proud of. And then because it's not working, I'm going to remove the salt from this part. Yeah, but do give this a try, and you'll see what I mean. You'll get nice textures. All right, so I have that, and I'll just let this blue, the salt on the blue part remain for the time being while I work on the rest of the painting. Okay, so let's go and create these um, these areas with the waves. Okay, so creating the sea in the distance with a darker blue. I'm painting around the textures that the salt has left. There is some textures that the salt created on the blue, and I'm painting around it with the with my size 2 round brush to create an effect of the ocean wave. So I'll give you a close up of the ocean wave on this side. Like so far I have this. Okay, this is a close up of the ocean wave that I'm working on. Then I will work on this part where I bring in some darker colors, darker blue colors around this landmass here. Okay, so far I have that. And then I'll go into my cerulean blue and bring in a little bit of a different blue color here. I kind of see the effect of the salt and I'm painting around it a little bit. So this is what I have so far. I'm bringing in some greens and cerulean blue in the front. I'm not sure if the salt is working. It created some marks, but I'm just gonna paint around it. It created some effects of texture, but you need to leave it for a solid 2 hours, I think. So, okay, so this is what I have. I'm going to take the paper closer to the camera to give you a close-up of the ocean. Okay, at this point, I will go in and remove all the salt carefully, and we'll see if there is some effect anywhere. To take advantage of it later on. And let me also do. Some of them are sticking, and some of them have left some marks. Okay, that's that. Okay, so this is what I have till now. I will work on these land masses a little bit more and paint around the effect the salt has created. So this is a very dark brownish paint that I got mixing my raw umber with some purple, and I'm creating some marks around these landmarks. Just be careful that it doesn't come into your wet paint. So this is what I have till now. You can, if you anybody wants a screenshot, mm, go ahead. Okay, I hope you're having fun painting at your end. I'm painting with blues and greens and a variety of colors and also taking advantage of the white of the paper. And there is a little bit more green than it's in the front than it's at the back because typically in the front, you'll have seaweeds and things growing. Some of those things can be seen through the in the because the viewer is so close to the water. So I use a little bit more green in the front than in the back. And yeah, I'm just continuing to put in some variety of lights and darks and trying to create the waves here in the front. If I think I want to change something, I can wet my brush and um, I can come. Suppose I want to make these waves a little bit lighter, right? I can wet my brush with a clean brush. I can come and I can remove paint and wipe it. And also use a paper towel to create. That's too much. Is too much paint is gone. So I'm gonna come and repaint this area a bit more. Yeah. All right. So that, that that's a good base to work on, and you can work on it, you know, quite a lot, and or you think, okay, I've done enough, and you can move on to the next painting. But you could use dry brush to create textures in the back also. Put in thicker colors of blue and stop near where this wave is coming on top of this area, just like that. And work with the darker blues a little bit in the front. The textures that I created with my knife, that's right here. It's creating a very dark line in the water. Looks very interesting. I like it. And so those are coming across nice. And I use the texture of the salt to paint around them. And Yeah, so today we experimented with textures a little bit, okay? I hope you liked it. I'm working on the stone a little bit to make it a bit darker. Wherever I find textures that I created with the salt and painting around it, it it has some interesting effects. But if you get time to experiment with this, keep the salt for a little bit more time, and your marks will be even more pronounced. You're gonna enjoy it more. This painting is almost completed. Um, you can take a screenshot if you wish, and I'm almost done. I'll be done in a minute. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm just gonna put some dark blues here in the front. I hope you can see the textures and the marks that the palette knife and the salt has made, and you enjoyed today's class. And here is your the screenshot that you can take. If you have any question, you can also ask me.
Teacher, what is the purpose of the salt?
Of the salt, the salt creates texture.
Okay, because eventually you have to take the salt away, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely. But if you give the salt enough time, it is going to stick to the paint, and it will create. And then when you remove the salt, it will leave some marks behind.
Okay.
Okay. And it's very interesting because brushes cannot produce that mark.
Mm-hmm.
And when you remove the salt, it will it will show the effect of little round areas, you
Oh,
know.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you have to give enough time to the salt. The salt must have 2 hours to stick.
I see. Yeah.
So suppose I am to do a little demonstration, right? Suppose I am to take um, a paper like this, right? And I put paint, right, on it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Some leftover paint. I put some green paint, right? Some blue, green, right? Then I bring the salt and so it has lots of, the salt is going to stick to this.
Oh.
Eventually, when it dries and you
Uh-huh.
remove it,
Uh-huh.
after 2 hours, if I remove this salt,
Uh-huh.
after it has dried, because it needs time to stick,
Yeah, it takes time to melt the salt, right?
right? It needs time to stick to the paint, okay?
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
it will create an effect where there is no paint,
Yeah.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
So after 2 hours, if I remove it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Sometimes, depending on the weather and all that, it may. But let me see if I remove it, if I can show you anything at all. See how there is some marks on the paper?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you give it enough time, like 2 hours, the marks are going to be really nice. You know,
Okay.
you see some marks on the paper,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
almost like
Yeah.
there is no paint,
Yeah.
round areas.
Okay.
And especially if you are doing waves and all that, and the top part, if you put salt, it will create the effects of, I kind of got some of it, but not that well. I had some here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
painted around it.
Mm-hmm.
So different salts have different effects. This salt is sea salt, so the salt is bigger,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it will have effects of little bit bigger size,
Yeah. I use sea salt too.
Sea salt, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you use regular salt, like table salt,
Then it's
it
smaller.
will have a more powdery effect.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's smaller. Okay. Good.
Yeah. So the purpose is to create texture. You can also create texture using one of my favorite way to create texture is to just use like suppose I do this. See, I can still see the effects of the salt on this paper. You see that? It created those areas where there is no paint.
Yeah.
But if I use a light paper towel, you can get almost the same effect,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you do
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and then you come and paint around that area, right? If you come and paint around these areas, you'll get the top of the wave too. You see what is happening? I'm creating the top and the bottom of the wave. And before you know it, you have used the paper napkin and you have used salt or whatever, and you can create all these wave effects, you know. That didn't take much time, but it's really fast process.
Yeah.
So so basically all I did, if I was to use another paper, there was a bunch of paper, but here it is. So if I am to use again, show you, right? Just to demonstrate this a little bit more. So if I am to take paint and I am to spread the paint like that, right? Like that, right? And then I bring my paper towel, right? Paper napkin, and I remove some of the paint, right? There.
Yeah.
Now, again, I come back with some darker paint and I create these areas. And then I create the top part, darker areas. Then you can come back and remove this again and create textures that you like. You know, there is always room to improve your art, and you can create the bottom of the wave, and you can work with so you use the paper towel to create the textures on the top, right? And you use the variations of different colors to create the top and bottom part of the wave, like that. You have to keep working on it to create the effect of the wave, and eventually you are going to be able to use your colors effectively to create a painting like this.
Is there an angle for the waves to?
The angle
I-
of the wave?
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
that's a good point. So
yeah.
depends on which way the water is coming. So in this case, the water was coming this way and it met the rock and it created that. This is the angle. You don't have to have an angle. It could, I like to create an angle. I know both of these examples I showed an angle, right? I don't know. It can be a straight one also.
Is can we show our work and then you can comment if we?
Um, Today we don't have that much time, but let's try. Let's try. Okay. How about
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna show my. Can
I'm
you see?
Dr. Okay, hold on a
It's a little
second.
blurred. Oops. Here.
Yeah,
Looks like a wall to me. The top of the wave.
it's very
Here is
blurry.
Oh, it's blurry.
If you is your yes, now it's better.
Yeah.
Well, keep it where your face is. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't tell because it's a bit blurry.
It's blurry.
Yes, because your background is set to blur, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Let me
right.
turn that off.
Yes, better now.
How
Much
about
better.
this?
Perfect. Perfect. Looks very nice. I like it.
Oh, because
This one.
I. Okay, the other
Very
ones.
nice. Very nice. Did you enjoy it?
Thank you. Yeah, very much.
Very
But I
well.
still
Great.
feel like the waves are not that
That's
natural.
wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wants to show the work? If you tell me your name, I will point out at you. I see on my screen, I see Angela. I'm gonna pin that. I'm gonna add pin. Okay, Angela, we see your artwork. Put it up one more time, Angela.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Very nice. You have to use a little bit darker colors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because all the color is very same. The values are very same, like the darks and lights. Play with
Yeah.
those a little bit.
Okay. The blue need to be a little bit more blue.
A bit darker in
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see how there is some darks and there is some light. It's a
Mhm.
combination of different values, right?
Yeah.
So play with that a little bit and see how that goes.
Okay.
Great.
How about this
Yeah,
one?
tell
What?
me,
How
we
can
got a
I
couple more
improve?
minutes. If someone tells me their name, I can point it.
This is Marichu. If you can
Marichu,
tell me
okay,
how
I'm
I can
going
improve.
into Marichu. I'm going and adding yourself. Okay, looks good.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
yeah, looks
Yeah.
nice.
Anyway, how to improve it?
The front needs to be darker.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which
It's
one?
good.
play with your values a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you see how the front is a bit darker. I have everything because not much light is reaching there, right?
Yeah.
Teacher, this is mine.
Okay, Jerry, I'm gonna go into yours now. I'm adding you in. Okay, very nice, Jerry. Very beautiful work.
Thank you.
Very beautiful. Very
I
nice.
like it.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Good job.
Other one.
Oh, that's very beautiful. That's
It's
perfect.
last one.
That's very good. I think you showed it last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I can
Fruits.
see the joy. It's very
Fruits.
good. Okay, I think we're almost done today, but if anybody wants to really show their work. Okay, so with that, we will say goodbye and I'll see you next week.
Okay. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.